Hey there. Happy Tuesday. And welcome to another chapter of the ORIN Oracles Live. And we're coming to you live from Orin Town. And I'm real excited today. I've been on a roll. I've been a busy guy. I've been up since 4 and rolling fast and furious with my life. Things have been going really quickly. I'm becoming a Missourian. And so I've been doing all the things necessary to make that happen. And yeah, so I've got I'm going to bring her in. Cornelious Rex is here with me today. And if you were coming in hoping to see Monica, we all were. And she texted me.
Can you see me?
Hey, Cornelius, give me a minute. Give me a minute. She's with us.
All right.
See how cool this is? No technical difficulties. So, yeah. So anyway, Monica texted me and she asked if we could reschedule. She was having some, throat issues, actually. She was finding it hard to speak and whatnot. And so it was all good. Cornelius stepped up and decided that she move her schedule around, which I really appreciate. And so she made herself available for us today. And so, yeah, next week we still have Teresa Allen coming in for our guest. And then Harry Matadine, he's in the States right now, over from the UK. He's going to be our guest the week after that. And so Monica's shoot is to be announced at this point. We're going to reschedule her. And so it's all good. And life is good. I'm becoming really excited. I'm getting myself legitimate here. I'm becoming a Missourian. I got my mailbox up and getting mail delivered. I got a new account at a credit union, and so I'm becoming a legitimate citizen here in Missouri. So anyway, look at this. So no technical difficulties at all. We're smooth sailing. So say good day, Cornelia.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi. Can you? Everybody can hear me. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You see, I set it up well.
You did. You look marvelous, darling. You look great.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I got my hat. Look.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, dream big.
Dream big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And just for you, honey. Scene one, take one of Peculiar.
Perfect.
Okay. Just for you.
Yeah, I just want everybody to know that I just love Cornelius. We're going to have some way fun today. And yeah, she is a true gift, and she's got some remarkable tales to tell. And so why don't we start with some of that? Why don't you tell us how you were first introduced to urine therapy and some of what your issues and, give us some of your process.
Okay. It all started, I have had about 10 surgeries in my arms. And it started maybe 5 years ago or so. But this last surgery I had November 30th of 2017. And the doctor decided he was going to do a different kind of therapy. He was going to go into my pelvic bone and remove tissue and cell. So he can do some cell therapy on my arm, on my shoulder. This must have been the 3rd surgery I had on the shoulder. So things changed. All of a sudden things started changing. It started giving me ideas. Well, if he can do that and remove cells, there has to be something out there that I can do that'll be like that or similar. So I start searching and searching and searching, and I come across turpentine and MMS and a bunch of other things. I mean, the list as long as my arm. But then I come across allegedly Dave, and I come across you. So this was, let me see, when did I come across you? 2 days prior to when I started. So it must have been January 9th, because it didn't take very long. It was less than 48 hours later. But from when I had my surgery, which was the 30th of November, I had this on my mind. I was in the sling. I was doing my usual therapy myself. You know, the same thing over and over. I had 10 surgeries. Started with carpal tunnel to my elbow, to my shoulder, to my neck. So on both arms, I've had surgery on my wrists, carpal tunnel, on my elbows, and on my shoulders. But before that, I had other surgeries. I had surgery in my foot. I have a fused foot. It was a Liz Frank injury that was misdiagnosed, and then it was mistreated. So I had nerve damage. I have sensitivity. My legs started going. So my knee became an issue. My back became an issue. Everything was becoming an issue from my head to my toe. It was like I was all off. You know, what's that game called? Jenga?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like Jenga. You know, like I start one way, I'm leaning the other way, so now my leg goes out. I'm leaning this way, now my back goes out. And all through this, I'm working. I was walking on a broken foot for 9 months.
Wow.
So you can imagine by the end of this, I'm just destroyed. But nevertheless, back to how I found it. So I find this thing, and I listen to him, and I listen to you. And of course, I go back to the original videos, because I was concerned. Okay, how did these people look before? So I saw him before, I saw you before, and then I was up to date of whatever videos you were doing at that time, you know? And I was like, no, this is amazing. So I did a little research, about a day and a half, checked everything out. And then on January 11th, of 2018, I picked that day specifically because of all the ones across.
Yeah, perfect.
The manifestation number, you know, the 1111.
Yeah.
And I started on my distilled water, which I have here, and started on the distill first. That's the first thing I did. I bought like 10 gallons, went that day. Then I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So I just went for it. And I haven't stopped since. On that very day, I gave up meat, so I no longer eat meat. That very day, I brought in more fruits into my diet. I was always kind of healthy as far as health-wise inside, not the mechanics, you know. So I did my oregano oil and my turmeric and all those things. So I just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger on those things, and healthier, and lemon juice, lime juice. But once the 11th came in, which was on my calendar, I just started everything else. And I haven't stopped since. I have to tell you, I haven't stopped since. I do the rubs, the hair, the eyes, the ears. I mean, you name it, the gloves, the foot soak. I do it all. I wash. If I get like a pimple, I put it on it. If I get, I burn my hand, and I put it on my hand, and it was gone in 2 days. The burn was healed in 2 days. And it was very painful. It wasn't like it was a crazy burn, but it was a painful burn. It went across 2 of my fingers, these 2. And nothing I would put on it would stop the throbbing until.
So,
you know, then, go ahead.
I wanted to ask, so you've been a few months in now, and what have you noticed? I mean, you were talking about the surgeon wanting to do a stem cell.
He did. He went in.
Okay, so
he did do that.
So in comparison to what was so and what is happening now, what have you noticed as a result of doing the urine therapy and the distilled water, getting off meat? Have you?
Well, no, go ahead. Well, the thing I noticed is he did the therapy on my shoulder, this shoulder here. Okay, and I know with stem cell therapy, it doesn't immediately you feel relief. It could take 2 months, because I just saw him the other day and he says it could take long. But I started rubbing the urine on it also, you know, so, and I wasn't rubbing it on this one. So I noticed a big change. So then I started rubbing it on this one, and now this one's getting bulkier without doing any exercise except my therapy myself, you know, my arm therapies. But I used to lift weights, you know, now I got the flab going on because it's been a while. But like this was full, you know, and it deflated. But without doing anything, like I could, you know, like you could see it's building. You know, it's like got a little curve now.
Yeah.
You know, and now this one's starting to curve because I started doing it on this one. First I did this one to prove it. Then I started doing this one. The very first day that I started doing this, I don't eat very much. And I gave up the meat. My legs started hurting me. Like I got cramps and like, oh, what are those called when your legs, you know, you can't move, you get those cramps. What are those called? I can't remember.
Cramps.
Charlie horses. That's it. I got Charlie horses that were incredible.
Yeah. No, I know this one too well.
Okay, I started on the 11th. On the 12th, I woke up this way. On the 13th, I was walking like I had legs made out of stick. On the 14th, it all went away.
Wow.
It all went away. Not little by little, it just all disappeared.
Right, within just a couple of days.
Yes, from my hips down.
Yeah.
It got very painful and then it disappeared. And this was just in 2 days. Then I noticed, because I have nerve damage on my foot, and if I would touch it, it would feel 100 times bigger. I'd start rubbing it and I noticed it's getting smaller and smaller, that feeling. That pain is getting smaller and smaller. On my right foot, I had like a bunion type of thing from leaning to the right, and it hasn't gone away, but it's gotten smaller, you know. And on my right foot, from leaning so much, my small toe, it almost felt like it was fractured, and it doesn't feel that way anymore, you know. So since the moment I started till now, things have just gone, maybe step by step, but they've gone. And I haven't done a fast, like a long fast. I fast a day, then I fast 2. I've done almost 3, but I haven't done a fast like per se a week or 30 days, you know.
And those are
but
tough.
Still,
you know,
yeah.
Extended fasts are not easy.
I did lose 16 pounds, like immediately.
Isn't that something?
Immediately, I lost 16 pounds in 1 month.
Yeah.
Because I will only weigh myself once a month. So what it has done is I lost the 16 pounds and I haven't moved from that weight.
Yeah.
I have not moved, no matter what I eat.
Yeah, and
you know, because sometimes I have things that you know, it's not meat related, but like pizza, let's say, a pizza party or something. I'll have the pizza.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's so similar what you're saying. From when I started after a 48-hour binging on YouTube, you know, watching urine therapy, and I just jumped in with the distilled water and the pee.
Yeah.
And it just started turning around so quick. I was just astonished how quickly my body was recovering.
It was crazy.
And I was at 186 when I started all of that. And within no time at all, I was dropping excessive weight without doing anything really that dramatic. I was still, you know, I was eating,
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that dramatic.
The only difference is that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and of course I gave up the meat, but I wasn't eating that much meat anyway.
Right.
You know.
Well, I was vegan.
And the other thing.
I was vegan at the time, but when I started to do the super detox and doing the extended fasts, you know, I dropped down to 144 pounds. Now I'm 6 foot. You know, I used to be 6'4" until I decompressed from all the spine damage I've had in my body. But you know, I'm a big guy, and so dropping down to 144, that was a little much. But I knew I was detoxing. And so I had exactly the same experience. My skin was like literally hanging on me.
Yeah,
I looked like some old man, you know, on my chest, my belly, my arms. Yeah. I mean, it was all wrinkly and just hanging on me. But once I got through that detox process, it started shifting up. And now I just maintain 165. No, doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. My skin's all toned because I started the same way. I mean, what ruined my hands I mean, I was building I was rebuilding a 85-year-old log house, and
Mm-hmm.
I was pumping it and pumping it. I mean, I mixed 7,000 pounds of concrete by hand. I dug out two
Yeah.
feet of dirt with pick and shovel, carrying it 50 yards plus, wheelbarrow by
Yeah.
wheelbarrow. And so I was buff. I mean, my arms, my biceps, everything was just like rocks. You know, when I
Mm-hmm.
started, and then when my hands went south, I was just rendered immobile. It's just like similar
Yeah.
with you. I had the carpal tunnel,
Yeah.
you know,
The
and joint
same thing.
replacement, but
My job also is very manual. So I didn't have to go to the gym. I always had that buff look, you know.
yeah,
I didn't have to.
yeah,
But once you can't use your hands, I mean, and then it just climbs up. It just keeps climbing. You know,
yes.
it keeps climbing up. So, I mean, up and down and to the ground,
Oh no,
like I used to
I
say.
mean, you know, I put my body through just about every you know, grinder you can run it through to see if I could
Yeah,
fucking destroy it for good. And
yeah,
you know, I was doing a pretty good job of that.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, it's
But now
amazing.
you have beautiful hands
Yeah, I
now.
mean,
Look
you
at the
know,
beautiful hands.
and you know,
Yeah,
I'm an artist, you know, a culinary artist and a builder
yeah,
and a writer, and you know, I mean, things that I mean, I rely on my hands, and I always thought
yeah.
my hands and my arms were significant features. It's, but you know, from my
Mm-hmm,
point of view, looking at my body, I always liked my arms and my
mm-hmm.
hands, you know,
Yeah,
as a feature. And I have a really
yes.
interesting body in that I only have a 32-inch inseam. You know, I mean, I've had you know, girlfriends that were only 5'5" and 5'6" had 32-inch inseams. You know, so I have
Yeah,
these short legs and this extremely long torso, and a real wide wingspan. And so, you
right.
know, I'm built kind of like a monkey, like a gorilla, short legs, big body, upper body, you know. And so when my knee injuries happened as a child, I couldn't use my knees, you know. Oh, don't lift with your back. Don't lift with your back. Well, if I don't lift with my back, I ain't lifting anything. Because if I went down with my
Exactly.
knees, I'd never come back up again. And, you
Right.
know, it's just the way it was. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's
It's a
funny how
misfortune.
when your body starts to fall apart, how you compensate and then what happens next. Just like you said with
Yeah.
the Jenga, you know, whatever that, you know, you pull
It's the
one
same
part and
thing.
you move another part, and all of a sudden your body makes all
Yeah.
these adjustments.
Yeah. I became 1 inch taller or shorter, however you want to put it, on one side.
Yeah.
So the chiropractor would start from the bottom up, you know, and I'm still kind of klutzy. Like if there's a wall, sometimes I hit the wall. The wall didn't move, but I still have that thing because my foot's fused. But I feel like I'm a miracle, you know, and I always have been, even before I started the urine. There was things that would happen that I would say, wow, you know, because I always believe in that abundance, and that, you know, like you ask and you receive, like you say all the time, you go with the flow.
Yes.
Well, that's what I've done all my life. But like this is like times a million, you know. It's like it is golden, you know. And I know I had told you that I was doing a face cream too. I'm making a face cream with the coconut oil, and I put Benadine in it because Benadine is healing, because I didn't have the iodine, but most of the time people can put iodine because it's good for wrinkles. So I just am playing around with it, having fun with it. You know, I follow a lot what you say. You know, you say you have a fun with it. Well, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
You
You
are
know,
fun,
and at the
darling.
same, yeah, look, I got the lime and the coconut.
Yeah.
You see, and you put it all together.
Yeah, oh God,
And then
you're hilarious.
I started, no, because it's good.
Yeah.
Because you know, and then I started the Soleil last night to see what it works with together, with it, all of it together, you know, to make distinct so that I can tell people about it so that they will cross that line without feeling that ick, you know,
Yes.
without feeling that ick. You know, I have my drop bottle, like you say, get a dropper. I have that, you know. I bought the strip so I can measure the pH just because curiosity,
Yeah.
you know, to see. I like to drink something and then test it an hour or two later to see how long it takes to go through the body.
Yeah.
You know, like for instance, the lemon or the pea or even baking soda, whatever gets in my head, you know, and I just do it.
Well, so
Because who
I
knows?
just
Who
started.
knows?
Okay, now, you know, anybody who's watched any of my, you know, videos recent, you know, I have 56 gallons now, aging.
Yeah.
And so last Saturday, on my cartoon show, I took my very first shot of aged urine, and I don't know what
Yeah.
took me so long. I just, you know, I was just doing everything, and I felt fine. And it was, but by the time I did this whole process of moving all the pee out and pulling up my gallons and looking at my really refined units, and they are, man, I've been doing a couple of shooters a day of the age,
Yeah.
man.
Glenn likes that.
Oh, it's,
Glenn's liking that. He loves it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he says it's whiskey.
Oh, I love, yeah, yeah. I love
It's
Glenn.
whiskey.
You know, and I saw
Yeah.
Teresa joined us, Ryan joined us. I mean,
Yeah, hi, Ryan.
Louisa, Theo,
I
there's
can't
some,
see
we got
Teresa,
some
but
beautiful.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Teresa's gonna be
Yeah.
here next week.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine that's watching too. Their eyes are probably coming out of their heads and they're probably not agreeing with it or shocked. But you know what? Don't hack it until you try it.
Yeah,
And I met someone who put it on their burned legs, and I've never seen anything like it.
yeah.
You know.
Well,
You meet
and
people
I
that are crazy.
had when I had Leah Sampson on, the
Yeah.
white buffalo calf woman, standing
Yeah.
white buffalo. Anyway, I mean, she had remarkable recovery from her burn wounds, you know, which were
Yeah.
steam burns from
Yes.
a ceremony, and
Yeah.
remarkable healing. I mean, you see her dramatic photos. I'm just doing urine
Yeah,
compression.
it's crazy.
It's crazy cool.
It's crazy the difference when people talk about it and you don't know,
Yeah,
but then you see, you're like, no way.
yeah.
But then you see it, you know, it's like, no, no. It's impossible, but it's not impossible.
Well, I saw.
You could see it with your own eyes.
Well, I've seen the people showing the exact evidence of cutting off their fingertip and regrowing the whole fingertip all the way
Yeah.
back, including a nail.
Yeah.
You know, talk about your.
Allegedly, Dave wrote something about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, about somebody growing a finger. Yeah.
yeah,
And I know you talk about growing your teeth,
yeah.
you know, and I saw something, I don't know if it was YouTube, where they stick this little thing with cells in it. It's like, it almost looks like they rolled up a little piece of paper and they stick cells in it, and then they stick it in wherever the tooth is. And 2 months later, there's a tooth that will grow in that spot.
Yeah, I'm getting prepared for that. I mean, it's an experiment I'm about to do that Rosalind Hanson, you know, she's kind of worked with me, and she sent me baby teeth from her children.
Yeah.
And she also sent me some organic egg shell, as well as some pee from her boys and husband, because we all share the same blood type. Now I'm waiting to get a grinder or something where I can powderize those teeth, because
a coffee grinder.
Yeah, well, I'm getting one soon here. I'm going to be buying one this week. I was just waiting for my money to come in, which came in today finally. And so
I understand that
yeah,
one.
you know that one, right?
I know how it works.
Okay, I'm going to answer a quick question here for Thomas. And
Okay.
as far as storing it, I've stored it from the beginning. Like when I was still up in Washington, I stored it underneath my desk. I had it all over my room. I had it in little cabinets. You know, I was staying, helping a friend out on his property up in Washington. And so I was recycling the most current aged for my enemas. So it could be anywhere from 4 to 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 days or 2 weeks, whatever the more current, because then I started doing daily enemas and I was doing a gallon a day. I would refill my enema bottle two times and redo it twice. So when I finally left Washington, I had it down to 6 gallons that I traveled with. And I sealed them all because I didn't want to take any chances of them sloshing around or this, that, or the other in the van.
You don't want to waste it either.
Yeah. And so since I've been here, I've just been pumping them. And I've just been saving them. And we have there's two 53-foot long tractor trailer empty trailers that are on the property that I can use for storage. And so that's where I'm storing them. And I do let them breathe. You know, they all have a coffee filter, and I use hair bands to seal, and they work.
Yeah, because they're stronger. They're definitely stronger than hair bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just have glass. Except I tried your theory in one of the plastic containers just to see the difference, you know. I wanna learn. I wanna see the difference.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Not that seeing is believing, but it is exciting. It's like being back in school in a science class.
Exactly.
It's so amazing. You know, and I love discovery.
Yeah.
I love discovery.
Well, the thing is,
and it also. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, I've been using I recycle my distilled water bottles. Now, I've been doing this from the beginning. Now, I'm on a limited budget, and I'm an efficient guy. And I would have, you know, if I had all the luxury of glass, now I would have not felt comfortable even traveling with 6 glass gallons in my vehicle. I mean, if you even had a small fender bender, the potential of having 6 gallons of pee bust in the van, you know, was high, you know. So, I mean, I'm a practical person. I work in practical measure, and I'm very efficient. So I've heard every argument about, no, you shouldn't use plastic. It leaches. It does this. You should always use glass. Yeah, everything has a high-end perfection, but hey, man, I'm down to minimalist, survivalist, and I work with what I got, and I make shit work the way I make it work. And I don't care what other people think or do or share. And they tell me all the time, I get it the other day, oh, you can't use plastic, you can't do this, you can't do that. Fuck no, I can do anything I choose. It's
true, and it's working. And the point here is that it's working.
It works for me.
That's the point. I mean, not everybody has the availability or the money for certain things.
Yeah.
That's why this is a great process, because you don't have to have money.
Right.
You don't have to have availability. And that's what I like about this.
Yeah.
Okay, if you choose not to, go right ahead. But if you're at your dire, then go for it. I mean, you're not losing anything. You know, you're not losing anything, and it works.
Yeah.
It really does work, you know.
Well,
I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't think it worked.
I saw some this morning, particularly. There was a couple of different short clip videos that were being fed. One was about the micro, they're like microplastics that come out from, you know, hand cleansers and polyester, different products, this, that, and the other, and how it's totally polluted the ocean to the degree that, like, you can't eat fish without getting the plastic. You can't, there's almost nothing you can do without having plastic induced into your system. So for me, I mean, drinking my pee is my antibody. It is my absolute, you know, super cyclone system cleanser. I use it, and I do it every day. And so I don't worry about the fucking microwaves, and I don't worry about the microplastics. I don't worry about any of that shit anymore. I just don't worry about it. Yeah. I drink my pee.
And I understand you. Yeah. I understand you, and I agree.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really a misfortune that we've polluted our earth the way we have without even knowing it. You know, and some of us realize it, but our potential. I mean, I know one person can do a lot, but I try to get people to recycle.
Yeah.
And they tell me, oh, well, it's not my job. You know, how can, it makes no sense to me. You know, like if you're in government and you don't recycle.
Right.
You know, it's like you're destroying the only earth we have. Even if you think you're going to another earth, okay, whatever planet you choose, how do you know that's going to work?
Yeah. Well,
How do you know it's going to work? Make it work here. Do what you can here. The other thing before I forget, because that's the kind of mind I have, is that I went on this webpage. I can't remember what it was. Because you know how you click on something and something else comes?
yes.
Click on something. And I found out how many of the drugs that the farmer makes, they use urea in it.
Yeah, of course.
And how much that costs. And it's crazy. It's crazy how much the cost is.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get even a pill, one pill of any substance that has the urea in it is so expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, if you, I've posted it before and others, and it's an easy access, and it has to do with Portageon. Okay, and Portageon has partnered with the pharmaceutical industries all over the world, not just localized. This is a totally worldwide operation, and it's all about harvesting the urine out of the porta potties.
Yeah.
And they list all of the ingredients. They list all of the you know, what they're after and why.
Yes.
And they
use animal urine too.
oh, absolutely. There's actual cow and horse farms that's what they're for. That they're just to you know, get the piss out of them. You know.
That's probably what the testosterone enhancers are. I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, like they use it from a horse, and they make a pill, and it's called you know, for testosterone enhancer, and
you know, people are clueless, you know, and this is, you know, anybody.
Look, I got some people on my end watching, and they're probably freaking out.
Well, here's the thing. Let's educate some people, okay? Because the fact is that people look at people drinking pee and go, "Oh God, that's disgusting. I could never do that." And I say, "Well, that's up to you. I do every day." And
I think tequila's disgusting. You know.
You know, I mean, you know, you'll drink disgusting liquors, eat disgusting food, and do disgusting things, and act like a disgusting person. But you drink your pee.
And they have sex with disgusting people. I mean,
you know,
that bothers me the most.
Yeah, and if people would take a minute to educate themselves, because we've been misinformed, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Once people realize that urine is nothing that you've been told, nothing that you've ever been told, ever.
Anything good for you is illegal.
Right, exactly.
Anything. And that even goes for graffiti art. I mean,
yeah,
graffiti art is one of the nicest, it's an amazing, you know, style of art. But if they catch you, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
Well,
anything that's good for you.
Well, even if you look at,
MJ, it's the same thing.
If you look at natural psychedelics, okay, the psilocybin, the mushrooms, you know, the LSD, the DMT. I mean, there's many different and natural plants, even the marijuana, the pot, that all of these things at one time were all perfectly legal and obtainable, all of them. And what they realized is that they couldn't control people. And the only way they could control people is to Schedule I them all and make them illegal. Now it goes further than just on a personal level. They made it illegal for labs to actually do study and test to see what cause and effect. You can't even do that. You know, so talk about fear-based consciousness and control manipulation about a system they don't want fucked with at all. They want people indoctrinated, and they want to keep them under the tow line and not step over that line. And any way anyone decidedly tries to do that, they're going to be capped. you know.
Yeah, well, that's the zombies.
Yeah.
That's the zombies that want to keep you that way.
And
They want to keep everyone uniform.
that's why I
You know,
love the
without the
pee, man.
uniform, but you have your
You
uniform.
can't stop the
Yeah,
pee. You know, you can't
yeah.
stop the pee. You can't stop it. You know, what are you gonna do?
No,
You know, you either got to cut
it's
my dick off or
a
kill
lot of
me.
things are
You know.
a lot of things are outrageous the way they've planned it. You know, and simplicity, even our foods, the GMOs. It all started with landscaping because I used to do landscaping, and how there's so much in our yards that you can just take out and eat, but yet we would poison that so that we would only have grass.
Yes.
As though grass is beautiful, but grass doesn't do anything for you.
Nothing.
But all the other stuff we've poisoned so that we can't eat it any longer, you know, because there's so many dandelions. That's the number one. Kill the dandelion. Yet the dandelion is amazing.
As a matter,
It really is amazing.
I'm drinking a detox tea that's dandelion. It's dandelion.
Wow.
And
Right.
Rosalind harvests all of her dandelions. She loves them. She eats the roots. I mean, she eats the leaves, the
Everything.
flowers, the
Yeah.
stem. She eats all of it, you know?
Yeah, I also eat them.
Yeah.
I eat them. I started eating them last year. Last year was like my ending, and this year is like my beginning. So last year I started doing a couple of things, and now I'm like full speed ahead, you know?
Yeah.
Because I need change. There's a lot of things I love doing I couldn't do for years. You know, bicycling, horseback riding, walking, a million things. I mean, you name it. I couldn't go if it wasn't one pain or the other.
Right.
You know? And I have a brace for every joint you can imagine. A back brace, a knee brace, an ankle brace, elbow brace, for my shoulders, for my neck. I mean, you name it. I have it.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw the photos. I did introduce those photos that back around August, and I showed kind of before and after, and I had a picture that I posted that had every brace I had been wearing over the last 4 years, and it was exactly that. I had the full neck brace, chest bracing, back bracing, elbow, wrist, hand, knee.
The wrist.
Yeah.
Don't forget the hand, the thumb.
Yeah. I mean,
I relate. I remember seeing that.
and I had COPD. I had COPD as well, so I had the the puffer inhaler, you know, and so I just had on these little short shorts, and I put on all of the braces and just showed. I mean, this is what my life looked like, but it doesn't look like that anymore, you know. So
no, and it's, you know what's amazing? Your COPD, and you walk so many miles a day. You couldn't do that with COPD.
No,
you couldn't do that, and you were a smoker.
Oh yeah.
You were a smoker, and I know you started smoking again, but you
quit. Yeah, now I'm 10
You
days.
wouldn't.
10 days. I quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd quit for 2 years, and I smoked like 3 months, you know, and I knew I was going to quit. I knew I was. It was just a decision about what day, when, and when I did, it just said that was it. I was done. Now I understand how to do that.
And that's a good thing. Yeah. That's a good thing, because smoking is, you know, it's not the best.
No.
You know, if you're gonna smoke, you might as well smoke something that's gonna be good for you.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Well, you know, you know, I'm a West Coaster, so I mean it's a no-brainer out there. But in Missouri, it's a little different story here. You know.
Yeah.
You know, you
definitely.
can't just go down to the pot shop.
No, you can't.
You know, I would.
No, and that's amazing. The pot shops, those are amazing too.
Yeah.
Because now the things that are available, even for pets.
Yeah.
Even for pets. I've been eating hemp. Well, I've been doing the hemp. I have the hemp oregano oil that I do as a preventive, and I like it. I think it works really well. But before all this, I used to eat the hemp seeds.
Yeah.
You know, the seeds. Nobody wanted them, so I would eat them. I'd throw them in my salad, throw them anywhere, in a smoothie, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't really matter. All that mattered to me is that I was putting something good inside of me.
Yeah.
That's all that mattered. And that's the way I go. You know, like you say, I love when you say that's the way I flow. Well, that's the way I flow.
Yeah.
You know, if it's good, I don't care what it's going to taste like. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Because I want something that's good for me, you know? And then once in a while, I can play because I know now I have a safety net, you know?
Yeah.
And I play. You know, I'll have that slice of pizza, or if someone's having cake, I'll have a little slice of cake, you know, and I'm good with it. You know,
And I've done the same, even recently. I mean, it was a number of weeks ago, but you know, one of my dumpster dives, I came up with some. It was actually good quality ground meat, and so I brought it home for the cats, and I put some raw down, and they just kind of like poo-pooed it. They didn't pay much attention, so. You know, I thought about it and I thought, well, maybe if I cook it, you know, then they'll eat it. And they still weren't that interested. They loved their can of tuna in the morning and their kibbles. I mean, they really settled into that. But
they love that tuna Florentine.
Yeah. So anyway,
they love those tuna Florentine cans.
You know, I mean, I've been vegan for 4 years. I mean, I haven't had any meat at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
But I just, for whatever reason,
miss it.
I just decided I think I'm going to make a hamburger, and I did. You know, and I had a hamburger with avocado and tomato and lettuce and
my favorite thing.
You know, and
I love avocados.
Yeah, and you know, I actually kind of enjoyed it, but it wasn't any big deal. It was I could take it or leave it. But more importantly was the cause and effect on my body. My body did not have any challenge with it. It just went through me. You know, I mean, I didn't wake up. You know, some people are just really sensitive. I have a constitution like a rock, and I know it. Yeah. You know, my body has got industrial strength unit. That's why I know, because I pushed my body so far for so long that I was amazed that I was ever even going to make it to 60. You know, quite frankly, honestly. And so.
Well, you have that endurance.
Yeah.
You know.
So to be reversing my age and feeling the way I do now is just like, is it like you said, it's all a miracle. This shit's a miracle.
Yeah.
You know?
It is. And you feel, without even noticing it, you feel better and better.
Yes.
Like I had a lot of trouble opening, you know, a jar.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of trouble.
I couldn't open a water
bottle. And
bottle.
sometimes without noticing, I'll open, let's say I have a pickles or something, and I'll just open it and I'll say, oh, wow. That's crazy, you know, because it's been, I don't even know how long, at least 5 years, I haven't been able to open a jar, you know.
Yeah.
It's really amazing, you know, and things would fall out of my hands all the time. Even a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I would have to bend over 5 times to pick up this piece of paper. And now I feel like I'll hold something in my hand and it stays there. Once in a while, yeah, it'll fall, but it's not the same. Like I'm seeing better. You know, and I'm hoping to get better because I want to be like what I used to be. I might not be 100%, but if I can get to 90, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, well, you know? I want to tell you some miraculous shit, okay? Because this is stuff that I can relate to. Now you're only like basically about 3 months in, barely, a couple months in. Okay, so you're on the right track. But I'll tell you some things that I had experientially, because I had massive neck surgery. I have a plate in my neck that's drilled into 4 vertebrae, 3 through 7. And so when I had that neck surgery done, I had a lot of nerve damage. When they cut you open in the front to do all this work, and the whole side of my face, this whole side was numb. My whole neck was just numb to the touch. I mean, it just like had no feeling. And this was for 3 years. I accepted it. I accepted that I was, you know, the nerve damage was from the surgery. You know, they had to cut right through into my front end, that it was never going to recover. I just figured that was the way it is. But I'll tell you what, urine therapy, that shit's gone. I have total feeling in my, there's no numbness at all. And that all started changing after I started doing urine therapy. After.
Yeah.
So
And to that note, it's true because I had a little bit of a TMJ issue, and it's not the same. The click is not the same. Eating is not the same. Like I would chew on something and it's click, click, click. It's not the same.
yeah.
It's like dimmer, you know. So I understand. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's just great.
and it continues to show up. Like,
Yeah.
with the process I'm going through now, like even with the golf, okay? Now I had the hand surgery last year.
Yeah.
Okay? It was in May, so it hasn't even been a year ago that I had the full hand surgery, and they wanted to do both hands. But I elected to only have the one done, and had I realized what I was getting into, I wouldn't have done it, because this
Of
hand
course.
has way better use. I mean, this one, has still, I mean, you can see how I can
Yeah.
curl this one all the way in, and I can still
Yeah.
only just touch the bottom of this. So that's the
Yeah.
one that I had surgery on. Okay. Now, I couldn't play any golf because of that for a long time. I finally got to play my first round in September, so it was several months in. I played I played one round before I left Washington. I played one in Reno, one in Ojai, one in New Mexico, and every one of them, when I played the 18, by the end of the game, I was losing my grip. My hands were sore, my knuckles were sore, everything, the joints were sore. I mean, I was pushing it. But now,
Yeah.
since I've been here and I joined this club, man, I go out and I can play day after day. Weather-wise, it's not happening right now. Today or yesterday, it snowed yesterday a
Yeah.
bunch. So,
Yeah. Here too.
yeah, but I can go out and play 18 holes. I never lose my grip. I never have a problem. I'm not sore. I can feel it all strengthening. And it's not like I'm doing
Yeah.
hand exercises. I sit at the fucking computer. I'm an artist at the computer and with a
Yeah.
pen. It's not like I'm out doing workouts and stuff. I do my walking and all of that,
Right.
but I don't do any weightlifting. I don't do any of that crap. And my body is all toned. There's no more, I don't have any belly. I don't have any love handles. I don't have any saggy shit. I mean, it's just gone. It's all from drinking
And
tea.
it's amazing. You get to a certain number as far as weight, and the number doesn't change, but you continue to change.
Yeah.
So, like you were saying about the love handles, they get smaller and smaller and smaller, but the number doesn't change.
No.
It's not like it gets smaller and you go down to like 2 extra pounds. You just stay at the same number, but your body changes.
Yeah.
Because that's happening to me. Yeah.
No, and I
The
swear
love
by it.
handles have.
I do. I absolutely swear by it that, people always like, want the shortcut, they don't want to do the workout, so they buy some belly thing that they strap on, like that's going to do it all for them. And, they do these wacky diets or these crazy, insane excess exercise, which is fine if people like to do all that shit. I never like to do that shit. I like to
Yeah.
walk. I'm a meanderer. I like to meander,
Yeah. Yeah.
and stroll. And so, but my body's getting all toned up. It is. It's just like, I mean, I
No,
look in
it's
the mirror and
awesome.
I just go, wow, this is like so crazy cool. How cool this is, Yeah, the abdomizer.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
builds you inside and outside,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
It's
I'm
crazy.
so sold
It
on the
is. It's the best.
Yeah, I'm so sold on the aged urine now too. I mean, I don't know why I took so long. It was just timing, I guess. I mean, I was doing the body rubs and the enemas, which I love, and I haven't had an enema since the beginning of the year because of my,
Yeah.
where I am. But I'll be doing one soon, I know, because I'm going to be going on a road trip to Virginia before long, in about 10 days or so,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
That's
And
good. That's good. So you're going to be going out to Virginia.
yeah,
Are you going to like do the setup?
yeah,
And by the way, I have a fruit. I have a fruit here because you said that when you have your fruit is when your darling is coming towards you. So
Yeah.
I hope your darling comes to you soon.
Well, actually, it might be.
So I'm ready.
Right now, the conversation is the day after tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great.
That's kind of where the conversation is currently is.
Perfect. So we're all going to be toasted with a piece of fruit for you.
Awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
We're all going to be toasted with a piece of fruit.
Yeah, that's so thoughtful.
Yeah.
I so love you, Cornelius.
Awesome.
You know, you're just so cool.
Yeah. I think you're cool. I think you're great.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You know? I really am.
Yeah. So, you know, that's what's happening. We're getting ready for this. You know, the thing in July is happening. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and knock on wood, you know?
yeah.
I'll drive down if I can.
Yeah. No, it's going to be pretty cool. Right
will.
now, we're looking at it's going to be, that is part of what we're going to evaluate. But right now, I think it's going to be limited to 20 people for accommodation. Yeah. And I mean, that's going to include everything. Yeah. The whole event's going to be all inclusive, all accommodation. All activity, all the education, all the food, the whole thing is going to be a complete package, you know, so all you have to do is get there and everything will be taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, I'll get in my car and I'm out the door.
Yeah.
Now let's just, one thing before I forget, we haven't discussed what it does to your crown, you know?
Yeah, let's go there.
The therapy.
Yeah.
And, the whole thing. I mean, even if you don't go beyond, even if you don't eat meat, you start not eating meat, you start doing the distilled water, it's little by little, you feel it right up here. You feel the tingle, you feel different. Your sensitivity to people is different, because I've always been an empath, but I'm more so now than ever, you know, but there is a big difference. Like to the fact where sometimes I can't wear a hat because it gets rather sensitive, you know?
Yeah.
And I know you had spoken about that before, you know, about how you clean and you get decalcified.
Oh, the pineal gland cleansing was a miracle. Now, you know, that's the big thing is, and this is where it changed all the arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, the hardening of the arteries, all of these things are all calcification and ossification of your system. And that comes from a highly acidic diet. It's induced by too much meat and dairy, alcohol, sweets, you name it, salt. I mean, there's a lot of things that contribute to the calcification of the body.
Yes, I agree.
Urine is the fastest fast track to decalcification that I ever have seen. Now, people will say, "Oh, well, I can do that with fruit and vegetable," and I mean, I'm sure you can do it all sorts of ways. But for me,
you can.
Fuck it, you know. The piss was the fast track. That shit went fast. How quickly I decalcified. I was just like, mind blown, because our body is liquid and it's supposed to be fluid, not crystallized.
Yes.
And that's what happens to the joints. They calcify and crystallize, and that's why they crunch, and that's why they hurt, and that's why you can't move them, because they lost all their fluidity. No joint is supposed to be anything but fluid. Every gland is supposed to be fluid.
Yes.
It's crazy.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was thinking because of all my issues. Even though I don't have the arthritis, I do have the ligament issue and all these other issues. And it's definitely all those things you were discussing, you were mentioning right now. You know, everything in between the joints. You know, I think that's why the distilled water comes into play.
Yes.
And if you want to take a vitamin, if you want to do the mineral with the vitamin, go right ahead. Because as long as you drink your distilled water, it'll take out what needs to be out and it'll keep whatever needs to stay in.
Right. Well, what it does is it acts like a magnet to take out the inorganic materials, the minerals, and that shit works really quick. Now, David has asked a question, and I'll tell you, David, when I started out really fast. I looped and I was drinking between my pee and the distilled water. I was doing a gallon a day. I quit cooked food, and I was on a fruit only diet. Now that's how I started on urine therapy. And I was hardcore about it. I went on this regimen for weeks, but within the first 3 days, I, went from decrepit hands that looked like this to where I started having movement in them. And then within a few more days, I was having more movement. Within 10 days, I had total movement and no pain. So how fast? That fast. 10 days.
Yeah.
I saw a decalcification happen in the worst arthritic portion of my body at that time, which was my hands. My hands were totally arthritic, extreme. And, like I said, I would have never elected to have the surgery if I knew, but I let the surgeon talk me into it. I did. And
they have to see some of your older videos.
Yeah.
Like if they just hit older videos.
Well, actually, in my channel, I've organized it all, and it's all in a file system now. And so all my earliest urine therapy videos were all in Weedu Speaks, that whole series from Weedu Speaks. They were all urine therapy. And so there's 159 of those, and so, and it shows every day. I was making them. I mean, I got to a point I made them every day, but it shows me in my cast. It shows me with the, when I had the casts off, with the stitches in. I went through every single phase of all of that process and recorded it all as a journal. So yeah, it's all there. And you can, once I left Washington, it went from Weedu Speaks to Weedu Wanders, to the ORIN Oracles, and then the ORIN Oracles Live, and now we have Saturday morning cartoons. Ha ha. So it's been a lot of fun, but I'm going to go back to Weedu Wanders. That's going to, it never really died. It's just that I quit wandering. So
right.
That's going to resurrect. And I'm going to continue with these no matter what the travels are. And I've got a lot of travel plans. So I'm putting this out in the information network right now. So I'm heading over to Virginia here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be in that area around Floyd for about 5 days. So if anybody's up and around any of those areas and want to check in with me, I welcome you to do so. And then by early May, really right away in early May, my sweetie and I are going to go on a extended journey, and we're going to head south first. As a matter of fact, the first person I intend to go see is my guest next week, Teresa. We're going to head down to Joplin, Missouri to go see Teresa and meet her family and have some quality time with her. And then we're heading further south. We're going to head down and through probably Oklahoma, New Mexico, Sedona and Jerome into Southern California, probably start in San Diego, work our way up the coast. We may include Nevada. We're going to definitely include Oregon. Then we're going to hit Washington. And once we're done with Washington, we're going to come back down through Montana, probably Nebraska, and then back around. So all of those.
You're doing a tour.
We're doing a full tour. So anybody who wants to participate, wants to do a shout out, wants to do a Weedu Wanders, wants a hug, just wants to share some love, keep me posted, comment me, PM me, let me know. I'll be making my travels way clear. You'll know where I'm heading.
Awesome.
So everybody can have an opportunity to bring out your pea shooters, and we'll do some celebrating in our shot glasses. We'll do pea shooters.
With chasers.
Chasers, yeah. Aged urine pea shooters with fresh urine chasers.
And some fruit.
Yeah. And some frutas. Yeah, some naranja. Yeah.
Naranja.
I like naranja. Yeah. I'm big on naranja. I like it.
I know you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at now.
Yeah.
We're doing good here.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, we're at 56 minutes. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
want to
So,
tell our audience here some really good colorful stories about yourself? You told me some. I mean, it's up to you.
I don't like, what did I tell you? Give me,
Oh
because
no,
there's
I
so
ain't gonna
many.
go there.
About what? About my ukulele one?
Yeah, I mean, you got some tricks
My
up.
ukulele?
Yeah, 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 and you're doing
I
djembe
told you
classes
I've
too.
learned, I'm learning 4 chords, you know? So I'm learning a little bit of the ukulele, and I got my djembe,
Yeah.
you know? I'm trying to do motion things with my hands
Yes.
to push them so that I can get further, you know, so I can get back to business,
Yeah.
you know? And then I have a book here that I was checking out.
Yeah, yeah, Dave Moore's.
This is
Allegedly Dave.
allegedly,
Yeah, I bought that one right
Dave, you
away.
know?
It's a great
Yeah,
book.
that's actually, that's the only one I have in physical form.
Yeah.
The rest I've seen online, you know?
Yeah, I
And
bought
my
them
new
all.
venture, like I was saying, the Soleil salt, which I find really interesting because I hear it has like 84 minerals in there, but it has a constitution of like 1,000 healthy things in there, you know? So I think that's an awesome thing for people to start doing too,
Yeah.
if they want to do some sodium, you know? It all depends on where you're at.
Well,
Some people are a little healthier than others,
well, and
you know?
there's again, and I hate this because it just seems like it's so redundant coming from me. But there is,
Yeah,
this ongoing battle going on about salt. And it doesn't
yes,
matter what the salt is. Okay, again, the videos that I was watching this morning that I saw, all the salt has plastic in it now. Doesn't matter what sea
okay,
salt or any of it, because it's coming, when it's coming out of the sea, it's already laced with all the plastic, right? So
yeah,
it doesn't matter what you do anymore, you're going to get the plastics, okay?
yeah,
And whether you do the salt or not, every body is different. Everybody's
yeah,
different. And so, there's this ongoing debate, and they're really rigid about it. The debate is really on high intensity about what's right or wrong. And I, people ask me, well, you don't seem to say much about it. You don't, what's your opinion? What fucking difference does my opinion make? People are going to do what they want no matter what, you know?
yeah.
I answered one of them and I said, okay, you want my opinion? I think that French fries are better with salt on them if I ever ate them, you know?
Right. Yeah. I don't use the table salt. I
Yeah.
really don't even like it,
Yeah.
you know? But I do a lot of these things just because the curiosity, because it's just like, to me, it's just like learning and learning and learning and learning. And at the same time, I can tell people about it. And maybe they'll cross the line with one thing, one step at a time to get healthier, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying different things.
Well, and the
You
thing
know?
is,
The other thing,
the
go
thing is
ahead.
with the thing with the debate is that the ones that are proponents for salt are absolutely, that salt is healthy, and the ones that are against it is salt is unhealthy. It is just
Right,
absolutely unconditionally a divided conversation with
right,
no middle ground, zero middle ground.
right.
You're either in or out.
It's true. It's true. Because right, right. There's a bookend thing going on, and there's no middle.
Yeah,
You're
and I don't
absolutely
see the
right.
value in that. I appreciate people's strong posture and point of view and stuff, but there holds a superiority complex also with that. Like, I got it figured out and I'm right. Well, then that means that
Right.
other person is wrong. So does that make you the winner and the other the loser? What the fuck?
No.
You got to quit this
And
shit.
sometimes you can both be the winner,
Yeah,
and sometimes
exactly.
you're
Why
both the
can't we
loser.
just
You know,
agree to
you can be both
disagree?
right and both wrong. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
It's not
yeah.
hard.
The other thing I was going to say is, I recently told someone who's a vegan about the therapy, and they say, "Oh, no way, no way." And then the other day they text me because they had a problem. So they asked me all these questions. How do you do it? How should I do it? How should I start? They had an issue in their mouth, you know? So I was trying to relate it the best I can, but what I know and what I read, how to get started so that they can get rid of their issue, you know. But it's funny, when I first told them, they were like, no, 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 I'm not interested. And then an issue came about, and they text me anyway, which I was happy about, because at least they're open-minded, you know. They're open enough to say, you know what, I'm going to try it. Maybe this will help me.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, they did. They tried it, and it's, you know, supposedly it's getting better. But a lot of people I tell, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was going to answer this one question that came up just before it disappears. And it was about, and he wanted to know about doing, he's been doing urine therapy and coffee enemas, and, you know, he wanted an opinion about that. And here's the thing, UT all the way. Now, for me, the enemas, I did, you know, there's people that swear by the coffee enemas and do distilled water, and they do all sorts of things. I only did aged urine enemas. That's all I did, because I was introduced that way. And when I went into it I never had an enema, I never had one in my entire life. So I just started with the aged urine, and I loved it. So why would I want to do coffee or anything else? I mean, why would I want to dilute it? I wouldn't. I didn't. I haven't. So in my opinion, do what works for you. But, you know, for me, what works for me, aged urine works for me. If I do enemas, it's pure aged urine, non-diluted. I don't heat it. I don't do anything. I pour that stuff in the bag and shoot it at my house, and I feel good about it. It's cleaning house.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, man.
No, but it's true. It's different therapies for different people. Like I saw this video on this guy who was doing the UT, and this lady was donating her breast milk to him because he had cancer. And between one and the other, he cleared himself from the cancer, because they're both cell therapy. You know?
Yeah.
So everybody does things differently, but at least try. As long as you try, who knows? Who knows what's going to work? But at least you try, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just like with
it's
like with the regrowing of the teeth thing. Okay. Now, Rosalind sent this stuff to me a while ago, and I got it took me a while before I was able to go and get a mortar pestle, but it didn't work. You know, I've since then gone and got a hammer. You know, I've been, you know, it's just like the enemas. I heard about the enemas for months. You know, I heard about turpentine for a while. I mean, I'm back. I've been doing turpentine and diatomaceous earth again. I've been putting that in my morning glass. I've been mixing it in again and doing it again. So, you know, it's all just about a process. And when you're ready, you're ready. You know, and that's what I tell people, man. Just, you know, if nothing else, drink your pee. Do it every day. It's easy. It's not hard. Now all the
whatever it takes. I mean, the MMS too. The MMS. A lot of people do the MMS, and they swear by it. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever works. If you have a condition or a disease and you don't want it, then do what it takes. You know, do what it takes. And if it doesn't work, at least you gave it your best. You know.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Well,
I'm just about learning and trying to help.
I have every intent.
I'm trying to help, you know?
Yeah, I have every intent of regrowing my teeth. I have every intent of regrowing my teeth. There's no mistake in my mind I'm going to do that. Now, whatever it's going to take, however long it's going to take, it's a moot point. Doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it took a long time to have my mouth completely destroyed. Now, had I known about urine therapy 20 years ago, I would have started pulling immediately. I would have restored all those gingivitis and restored my gums to where I may have been able to hold on to my teeth, but my gums were so shattered that my teeth couldn't hold into them anymore. And I was just having infections. And you want unhealthy shit, have fucked up teeth. You want to get unhealthy, have really fucked up teeth and gums. Get infections all the time. That shit goes right to the brain. That's hardcore. So to me, the healthiest choice was to remove them all.
It is.
That was the healthy choice. I just had them all removed. Figured, well, fuck it. I'll start over. And I had no idea I could eventually regrow teeth, but I do know now.
Right,
And
right.
how long it's going to
Unfortunately,
take.
we didn't know these things, you know.
Yeah.
Even coconut, even they don't even tell you about coconut. Coconut is amazing too, you know. They just don't tell you about certain things. It's like they want to keep the best secrets to themselves, you know.
Of
It doesn't
course.
make any money. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But what are we gonna do?
and then
You know?
things that are really devastating the earth, like palm oil, you know, things that they're putting into everything, and then they're just destroying
Yeah.
massive ecosystems and beautiful biocultures,
Yeah.
you know, to plant these trees.
They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care what animals are gone. They don't care.
No. Uh-uh.
They really don't care. You know?
You know,
If they would care just a smidgen,
go ahead.
you know, they don't, they just don't care. It's amazing to me that someone really doesn't care. Like they don't care.
No.
You know, and they really think like if, like for instance, the animals, okay? Okay, now they're all gone and we're still going to be here. If the animals are gone, we're gone.
Yeah.
Because we're the same. We're all the same.
Well, wipe out the bees. You wipe out the bees, and look what it goes haywire. There goes your agriculture. Okay, and the Monsanto products are what's wiping out bees. You know, I mean that's just known. I mean, I don't have to make shit up. Do homework, and you'll find out the truth about this stuff. It's
no, it is.
hard.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's not difficult at all.
No.
I mean, I used to use the product because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I used to use the product when I didn't know. I do landscaping. I didn't know. And then when I found out, I stopped using the product.
Yeah.
I went a different route, you know. But once you put it in the earth, it's really hard to get it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it leaches.
I mean, you can't eat what grows there anyway.
Well, and that's the thing. It's no different than like if you go back to the Dust Bowl, okay? They came and they figured they could just plow the shit out of everything, and they ruined all the topsoil. Okay, they removed all the topsoil. Now, you know, if you look at most agriculture, nothing will grow in this shit. I mean, it's really remarkable what happens to the eco balance of for agriculture.
Yeah.
It's just scary crazy how stupid it all is. And what's the bottom line? Profit.
It is, and it's simple.
Yeah.
And it's so simple. It's like trees. We need them.
Yeah.
They breathe what we let out. We breathe what they let out. The fact that they let their leaves fall, there's a reason for it. And we go and we collect the leaves and throw them out.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No,
it just makes zero sense.
No, you know, I was born in the 50s and grew up in the 60s, and I remember when the, you know, basically the very first Earth Day, when the Whole Earth catalog came out. Now, the Whole Earth catalog had everything that you needed to know to create a sustainable planet. I mean, completely had it all in the Whole Earth catalog on how to live sustainably without harming the environment. Now, you know, the whole word sustainable, that shit's been hijacked like everything else. That's all a part of the Agenda 2030. Okay, that's all just a part of the massive global takeover. They use that word sustainable like it's some eco balance. It's bullshit. Do your homework. You know, it's not a user-friendly situation. They make it out to look that way. Oh, you know, we're all about this. You're all about nothing. It's all about shoving everybody into little squatty holes into urban environments and force feed them bullshit. That's what it's really about.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things, you know, because technology is great. Yeah. It's like with this IE thing going on, it's not going to be good. No. You know, it's really not.
Well,
I mean,
it's misused, and it's sold that way. It's just like going to the 5G, okay? The 5G is being sold as, okay, I'm going to get my Netflix faster. You know, I'm going to get more signal and all this shit. People have no idea what the real truth about the 5G onslaught is. And that shit is fucked up. It's dangerous. It's dangerous.
It is.
big time.
It's really not, there's no way out.
Yeah.
You know, they play with the ground underneath us. They play with the sky above us. I mean, they're removing the trees. I mean, what else?
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we say? They're going top, bottom, and middle. So.
And so, you know, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to stay above it? You know, where am I going to go with it? I'm going to drink my pee, my friends. My pea coat protection. I really believe it. I totally trust it, that it is the gift. We were given a gift for total sustainability. We are our own sustainability. This isn't crazy stuff.
Yeah.
This is a miracle. This is a miracle.
It is. It is a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, and particularly with what I've seen, because, you know, I've dug a little bit. It is a miracle.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, it might not work 100% for some people, but the way I see it, if you have 10 things going on and you can get rid of 7, that's a great thing. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You know, because then you only have 3 to worry about, not 10.
Well, and here's the thing is that, you know, if you go through the archives of testimonials of, you know, John Armstrong for one, you know, Martha Christie for another, and several others, the testimonials are there that people have turned around just about everything that you can actually claim. There's individuals that have turned this shit around. So if it works for one, it'll work for others. And that's why John...
That Japanese guy, I know he passed away already, but he must have been 100, where he was talking about that he had things going on, and he did this, and it went away. He had a venereal disease, and back then, I don't think they even had antibiotics or anything for him to take at that time.
Right.
And he did his own thing, and he was cured. I think he must have died 98, 100. I know he passed away, but nevertheless, he became an old man. You know.
Well, and so, I'm totally.
So it must work.
You know, I mean,
it must work.
I'm totally believe that, you know, when I look at Hilton Hotema's book, Man's Higher Consciousness. Now, you know, he's talking about people that live, you know, into their 100, into their 200s, and even have case histories of people living, you know, almost 300 years and then some. And so what's good for one is good for others. Now you have to look, what's the difference of going hungry and fasting? Now, that's a good question.
Right.
A lot of it has to do with your mindset, number one. You know, people will bring it up. Well, what about these, you know, starving, you know, people in Africa and this, that, and the other? The things you have to put into full measurement is condition. It's environmental. They are in squalor. They're forced into, you know, group dynamic that is not, I mean, you can't breathe. Okay, so it's pretty hard to be a breatharian when you can't breathe, you know, and so, and you have all this extra stress. So your body is being in a meltdown. Now, if you can remove yourself from those kind of environments, if you can find fresher air and, you know, get sunshine, you can do it. Yeah. Like photosynthesis, just like plants and trees. Now, if you can also find a clean source of water, fine. You know, pee to me is like the perfect balance. Now, Hilton Hotema doesn't even talk about pee in Man's Higher Consciousness, and he's showing how people were living into, you know, hundreds and 200 years old. Now, me personally, 4 years ago, I was laying around waiting to die. I was so fucked up with this neck thing that I just didn't give a shit anymore. I didn't care. I really didn't. I just drink and take drugs, man. Fuck it. But now I can totally see I'm reversing an age, that I am healing, that my body is going in reverse. I'm not aging anymore. I'm de-aging. I'm de-evolutionary. It's really wild how it's working.
Plus your will has grown. You have a will that's beyond, not like before. Your will is for, you want to move on. You want to go forward.
Absolutely.
You're not going backwards anymore.
I'm living,
You know?
I'm living a,
Yeah.
Vita Loco, and I dig it.
Yeah, and you have desires. Desires are like when you're younger, that you just dream of like this future, and you just desire, and that's what happens. Everything opens, and I know because of me, because I this simple instrument here has been sitting around for like a year and a half. Okay, I had no desire to pick it up. Now all of a sudden, I'm eating cleaner. I feel better, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It's just like it opens you up to a point of discovery. You want to know the mysteries. You want to know, you want to see things. You want to do things. It's like the innocence of a child. It's like your rebirth.
Yes.
Well, that's what I feel.
Yeah, well, it's even like with the djembe. Now, I was a djembe player. I mean, I played drums and hand drums for years, and I was passionate about it and aggressive with it. Did a lot of drum circle and, played lead, and a lot of syncopation and a lot of, I was just aggressive about it. And that was just another addition to the destruction and the nerve damage that I had in my hands, which I already had to begin with from years of being a chef and all that handling with knives and meat and this and that and the other, then construction. I had tons of nerve damage in my hands. So drumming, I just pulverized them. I just pushed them to the limit. So I finally sold my djembe, but I'm planning on buying another one this year. And I plan on drumming here on my birthday. I do. When we get together for the celebration, we're going to have music and fun, and I'm going to get myself another djembe and go back. I probably won't play as aggressively as I used to, but I have it's all a heartbeat. That's the way I look at it. And so.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. I look forward to it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'll bring my djembe.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is that, if you really want to live a youthful life, think a youthful life. Now, all the teachers that I listen to, on my YouTubes, I mean, I listen to a lot of people. And they're all, I mean, I was listening to this one with Wayne Dwyer this morning that was just off the hook. I was listening to one before that was Tony Robbins. I mean, these guys were off the hook. And I listened to Moji and I listened to Alan Watts and Terrence McKenna and, Ram Dass. I mean, all of these people, they all tell you the same thing. Be here now. Be here now. And
a lot of people were bullied when they were younger. They were bullied. They didn't quite fit in. They were outside the box, and then something happened where they realized they're the bomb, not the rest of the people, because they weren't following. Right. They were technically leaders. They just didn't realize it,
Yes.
So yeah, it's a little bit like that, and I can relate because I really don't fit in, and I never felt like I did. Never did. No matter what circle, No matter what circle you would put me in, I always felt there was something missing, something wrong with it, Always outside the box,
Yeah.
And I was a child of abandonment also, like a lot of these people that speak, and I know yourself. And but once you reach that point and it hits you, you realize that's the whole point. You weren't supposed to fit in.
Right.
You're supposed to be different. But when you're younger, you want to fit in.
Right.
You're looking to fit in. Like now, I don't care if I fit in.
Right. No.
I don't care if I fit in or not.
Yeah.
I do my own beat, and if anyone wants to follow, fine. But, I've been abused by all people that I've come in contact with one way or another because I didn't fit in, like if I was the freak or whatever, and now I don't care.
Well, and that's why
that's why I relate with you so much. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people on Facebook, and they're my friends on Facebook, and I have a lot of acquaintances, but there are a few that really care, and those are the ones that I worry about, or I try to make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
You know, but you learn that with age, and you learn that with with the conscience, and once you open up, you see things differently. It's like you see beyond the wall. You know.
Yes.
It is crazy, but it's awesome.
Yes.
It's awesome at the same time. You know.
That was the whole point of the High Vibe tribe. I mean, initially, and even the Peace Global tribe as well, which has 22 years in its makeup. I mean, really, but it is about the outsiders. It's about the people that always felt like they weren't accepted. And I am truly. It is my engagement. It's my intent to unify people. That's what I do. Yeah. That's what my purpose is. And not just connect people to me. I want to connect people to each other, and just be, I consider myself like this giant needle pulling this thread, creating a tapestry. And I enjoy the ride.
It's the web. It's not the internet. It's the web.
Yeah.
It's the way it was supposed to be, where they say the strings connect, the thread connects from one person to another. So you're pulling that in. You're the one that's pulling that in, like when you pull a kite, that you're bringing it in. I see that as you, So you're pulling it in. So everyone who's actually connected is actually meeting or feeling closer, so that we never feel alone, Because in life, we really do have three people immediately, which is me, myself, and I.
Right.
And then you have whatever you decide to call it, God, universe, divine, whatever you call it. So you're really always four, which creates the box that keeps you safe, That's how I see it. That's my opinion, but that's how I see it. That's how I keep myself safe, and I'm never alone,
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it's important. I mean, this is the whole thing. And again, at the risk of redundancy always, is that whatever you think about, you bring about. And if you can't self-love and self-respect and self-honor, you can't give away what you haven't got. I mean, it just seems like so simple. But, people that are damaged goods are really damaged. And I cover this a lot. That's why I talk about experience and not only my own, but you can relate it through others. And I think that if you really look around in our culture, that most adults walking around are wounded children, and they act like it. They have their little tantrums. They get angry. They throw a fit. They learned at an early age that if they whine, if they cry, if they bitch, that they'll get what they want, because mommy got sick of hearing them whine and cry and bitch. Okay, here's the fucking sucker, okay? So if they were engineered and indoctrinated in these behavioral patterns, they figure they can get away with it for life. I mean, there's people that you just look at their behavior. That's why I call it cartoon.
They're still doing it. Yeah, they're still doing it. And some people, you can tell they're not open to anything, because you try to give a little bit of advice or help out, and they're like, well, either your way or my way, but they don't want to put both things together and get the the thing done.
Exactly.
Like take a little advice here and take your advice, and we'll do it together. But it's either they say, okay, it's either my way
the
or
highway.
Your way. You want to do it, you do it, or I'll do it my way.
Yeah.
It's never togetherness, And a lot of these people do that, and I've noticed that more so now than ever. And what I do is I basically just walk away, because I don't want confrontation.
That's a healthy choice.
I just want happiness. I just want happiness. I want happiness. I want people who are kind. I want beautiful things. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So I don't want confrontation.
Well,
that to me is a waste.
The biggest challenge people are ever going to face is their own fucking egos. That's it. Yeah. And when you're walking around with damaged goods, and what you're, hiding, what you're protecting, what you're concealing, shows no true color, authenticity. It's just a sleight of hand. It's a bullshit trick. Okay, and
Yep.
you can only play that game so much, and you can be a good con man or con person and fool people all the time. It's done all the time. Look at how people
Yeah.
will operate in our society. But you're still going to have to face yourself in the fucking mirror at some point and realize what an asshole or what a shithead or a jerk or what a worthless piece of shit you're being. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, really, I mean, there's going to
It's
come a
true.
time
It's
where
true.
we have to face that stuff ourselves and realize, is this really who I am? Is this how I want my
Right.
life to be? Is this really working? You know, it's a tough
No.
question that everybody has to ask themselves. Everybody.
No, it's the truth. You're absolutely right. Because there's so many people that are popular, you know, because I would go out a lot to the clubs, and a lot of popular people. And then you realize those popular people seem nice, but they're really behind your back. The knife is there,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And once you know, you don't really want to hang anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it anymore. You want to do your own thing, you know, because once you're open and you start opening your crowns and you do the chakra thing and whatever else comes around, no matter how you do it, all you want to look for is happiness, peace, kindness. You just want to look at all the positive, 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 positive. You don't want to deal with the negativity
No.
of anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. You just don't want it anymore. To me, it's garbage. I want to throw it in the trash. I want to burn it. I want to get rid of it, you know? And I don't want to take long to deal with it either. A minute, I want to get rid of it in a minute, you know?
Yeah.
And I want to move on.
Well, the thing
You know,
is
and
that most people operate on those terms because it's a control manipulation. This is psychology 101.
Yeah,
And so bullying,
yeah,
bitching, you know, there's variable tactics that are used to basically intimidate or insult other people into their liking or into their behavior. And it's just incorrect behavior. Now, I've been a writer for a really long time. I've got a lot of quotes that I've penned, and I have them in the Library of Congress, 365 of them to be exact.
yeah,
And one of them was motivated by an artist that I knew, a brilliant artist, really good artist. But the quote is, your need for control far exceeds my desire to respond. And there's your
yeah,
walking away. Okay?
yeah.
Okay? And this is how it really rolls. I mean, you don't have to buy anybody's bullshit ever. You know, if you do, who's the
No.
fool? If you buy into their bullshit and allow them to intimidate you or
Exactly.
insult you or do anything like that, who's the fool, them or you?
Yeah. And then you go back and you say, okay, can I have another?
Yeah.
And there's really no reason to have another because there's nothing there. There's a tree, but no fruit coming out of it, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
And that happens a lot, whether they're friendships or partnerships or, you know, so husband, wives, it happens a lot.
Well, here's
You know,
the
but
thing with
this is a great thing about this therapy and anything that people will take on to cleanse themselves. It just opens you up to a different perspective. It just, even if it's a cloudy day, not for you, it's sunny,
Yeah.
you know? And that's how I see it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's raining.
Yeah.
To me, it's a sunny day.
It's very
always
freeing.
sunny.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, this is why I always have my blue blockers because they work. You know,
They do.
I mean,
They're awesome.
you know, I got sunshine on a cloudy day, and I do. I love it.
No,
You know,
it cracks me up.
and you know, life is as beautiful as you imagine it. Every single day of my life,
Yeah.
every moment I breathe, it's a beautiful day to be alive. I have no other conversation.
It is.
I can get over bullshit in a hurry. I can. I mean, faster than I ever
No, you can't.
imagined I could ever do it before.
I can't waste time on that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any time for it anymore. I don't have any time for anybody's
No.
shit. And I'm
There's a
straight up.
lot to do.
I always directly
And
address
We're
people.
dreaming big.
Yeah,
We're dreaming big.
dream
now,
big.
You know?
You know,
Yeah.
it's like I have all these people and I keep mentioning it because it never seemed, you know, it doesn't matter. And I address it over and over. I have these friends that I mean, they're so sweet. I adore them. They're wonderful, but they're across the
Yeah.
world. You know, I mean, it's 4 in the afternoon for them, 5 in the afternoon. I barely got my
Yeah.
eyes open. And they're like PMing me, hey man, what are you doing? You know, da 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 da. And I keep
Yeah.
telling them, I said, dude, it's 4 a.m. I just woke
Yeah. They're
up.
excited though.
You know, I mean, give
They're
me a,
excited.
you know,
They're
hey man.
excited. You can't help them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't
It's
even
all
enter their
good though.
consciousness. You know, it's like,
Yeah, because they're excited and they can't
I
wait.
know,
So they're counting every
I
second.
know.
And once it hits that poof, they're like, okay, are you awake? Are you awake?
Yeah, it's just insane to me. You know, the second.
They're like the cat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I don't have those cats
They're
on
like the
crack
cat.
anymore. If the
Remember?
cat's on crack, they're gone. You know.
Yeah,
And I've been sleeping peacefully.
I
As a
know.
matter of fact, last night, okay, I started doing the no mattress thing. I started that on Friday night. And
Yeah.
by the night before last, I mean, my hips were so sore. I mean, I was getting no sleep. I was tossing and turning. I mean, it was just horrible for me. So I pulled out the
Yeah.
mattress out of the hide-a-bed, which is like just about a 2-inch thick foam. And I laid that down last night. Man, I slept so good. Oh God, I got up once to
Yeah.
pee in the night and I had like 8 hours of solid sleep and I felt great this
Good.
morning. So, you know, it's
Good.
like just testing grounds. You know, you just have to keep testing, you know, one day at a time, one moment at a time.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is your battery dying? Because you're starting to break up a little bit.
Well, it could be soon. I had 100% going, you know,
Okay.
but
Okay. I'm just for me
it'll give me
let
some.
you know that you're like breaking up a little bit, you know?
Well, and that just happens sometimes, and I can see it in the camera when it happens, where
Yeah.
all of a sudden I get pixelated or delayed or something. But I
Exactly.
found out that no matter what, it happens. Like it looks like I'm doing a Japanese B movie or something with Godzilla meets Bambi.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mouse moving, but somehow the audio always
Yeah.
seems to record well. Even if the video
That's
gets
good.
goofy, the audio when I do
All
replay
right.
on all of them, the audio always seems to work well. And just so
I'm just
everybody,
making sure.
yeah, yeah, no, thanks for
Yeah.
checking. And I'm making MP3
Yeah, because
file.
my phone is connected.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, if you saw how I set this up so it would be perfect, you would be on the ground laughing.
Well,
You would be
and
rolling.
you look
You know,
beautiful, darling.
it's
I mean, you
actually
set it up awesome.
taped. It's taped to a weight on a box, a wine box, okay, with a little cardboard and a pencil holding the wedge, so it's like perfect.
Oh, awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
have mine. See, I have a copper the flex thing that I hang on the top of my laptop,
Okay.
and I can use it like this. And the reason I do it on battery is because I don't want to run the generator. Not having to
Right.
run that white noise in the background. Oh, and I got a great
Yeah.
story for everybody. This is a good one. Okay,
This is a
this
good
happened
one.
on Sunday. Okay, this was crazy. I went out on Sunday morning, okay, and it started snowing on Saturday, okay, and I got my mailbox up. I got all this stuff going on. Anyway, it started snowing on no, it started snowing on Sunday. I mean, so I got up Sunday morning to go out and start the generator and there was no flywheel. I mean, you're just pulling on a string and there ain't nothing there. And I'm like, oh, great, you know, great. This is going to be fun. Hey, happy Easter, April Fool's Day, dude. So I text the owner and I said, hey, because I knew he had another generator down in his house in Odessa, and he's in Texas. And so I text him and I said, Hey, what? Any chance I told him the flywheel is flung, and it's Sunday, it's Easter Sunday. There's no way to get it serviced. Is there any chance I can come and get the other generator? And he texted me back, and he said no. I don't want that one back up there. But if you look in the blue book up in the cabinet, there should be a warranty for that. And so I went looking through all these papers. Anyway, I found the receipt, I found the warranty, and I loaded that fucker up into the back of my van and drove it to Lowe's. And no shit, I got a brand new generator. Brand new in the box.
That's abundance.
In the box, right? Oh man, I was like a kid in a candy shop, man. I just couldn't believe how cool that was, because that other one was really falling apart. It was just, I mean, it had been like falling apart, and he bought a 3-year warranty. So, it was more, it's still got another year plus on the warranty. So, that was crazy cool. So I bought my mailbox. I got my mailbox up, and I got my bank account set up now. I've got I mean, everything's happening. It's just so happening now. Everything. Oh, here's some other good news. This is all such good news, okay? Now, I couldn't establish myself as a Missouri resident until I had an address. I've been on this property now since December, but this property, they've had it 30 years, no address. 89.9 acres of land with no address. They used it for deer hunting. That's why they had it. So it was just a plot of land. So I finally got I got it through the county, and I finally, with the help of my mail lady and this wonderful woman named Paige at the county clerk's office, I established an address. Now I got a post office, a postal box. Now I've got set up for mail to deliver, because I couldn't become a real resident without any of this. Not at all. So now I can register, get my car registered. I can transfer my Social Security from Washington to Missouri. I can transfer all these things. I can say I've just been setting it all up. Everything's now, all my ducks are getting in a row. And it all hinged on this one thing, having an address. So now it's all happening. And this is where it gets good, okay? I had Progressive insurance, okay? Now, I'm wondering at this point, Flo, she goes with the flow, right? Well, that Flo bitch, she must be worth billions by now. I mean, she's on every single media there is. I mean, in every media. I mean, she's getting residual like nobody's business, right? Good for her. Good for her. But I've been the safe driver. She keeps telling me, oh, get the little plug-in, and oh, we reward safe drivers, and oh, we give all these discounts, and oh, all this shit, right? Bullshit, 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 because that's not how the insurance industry works. They're all jerking your chain, and I know it. Okay, so I had my policy set up on the other 6 months before I ever left Washington. I was paying $46 a month, okay, for my policy. And I haven't had a ticket or an accident in 3 decades. I mean, I'm a safe driver. I don't have any tickets. I don't have nothing. So I get my new policy, and they raise it up $13. So all of a sudden now I'm paying like $56 a month for my my insurance. And it's like, it's insulting, and it doesn't even pay to call them up and say why, because I know why. It's how the insurance industry works. You're paying for everybody else. This is what you're doing. So in Washington, you're paying for a high population count, more accidents, more stolen cars, more claims, okay? I knew that if I moved to Missouri and reset it up here, that it was going to be a big difference, because I'm living in the middle of nowhere in Orintown. So I called up that thing yesterday, and I'm going to get a new policy rewritten with my new Missouri address, $37 a month. Huh.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that crazy? And even my
That's great,
Verizon
though.
phone, I called up on my Verizon phone, and because I paid my bill on time for 14 months, and that I have, not faltered on that, and I'm over 55, they're going to drop my bill down $20 a month starting next month.
Cool.
Isn't that cool? So
It's great.
the reason I'm bringing all these things up because we are in a matrix. This is a game, and we just get played over and over in all these industries, the banking industries, the insurance industries, the food industries, the petrochemical industries, pharmaceutical, the medical. They're
Don't
all
forget
out to
cable.
play us. Just play us like fools.
Oh God, don't forget cable.
Oh yeah. I mean, all of it. It's
Oh,
just being jerked around by all of them. So if you don't defend
yeah.
yourself, if you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't say something, they'll walk all over you. And people will take
Yeah,
this shit laying
definitely.
down all day, every day. Oh, well, that's just the way it is. Hand me a beer, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that the
Yeah,
drinking
you can't
has,
accept it
pea
sometimes.
drinking has opened up my heart, my mind. I mean, pea drinking has changed my life. Totally changed my life. I've never been cleaner,
Yeah.
happier, more fulfilled, more open-minded, more open-hearted, more transparent in my life.
Yep. Yep. And you definitely it makes you want to speak. You don't want to hold it in. It's almost like you're gonna explode.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know. Like I don't want to hold it in. Like I tell them, my throat chakra is open and beware.
Yes.
Because I don't want to hold it in anymore. I don't
Yeah.
want to hold it in and get sick myself. I want to let it out. And if they want to take it a nice way, they can. And if they want to take it personal, go right ahead.
Right.
Because with 14 billion people on this earth, come on, we really got to put up with so much BS.
Yeah.
Let's get real.
True that. Yeah.
It's too much.
Well,
It's too much.
I think I've already told you, but I don't think I told you today, Cornelius, how much I love you, but I so love you, darling. You
I
know,
do too. I
you
do
know.
too. I love you. I can't wait to meet you in person.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
mean,
wait.
from our first conversation, I knew in a minute, and we were on the phone for a few hours, and I just,
Yeah.
oh man, what a delight you are. You're so delightful.
And that was weird the way that happened. You text me, no wait, you messaged me and I send you my number and then you called me.
Yeah,
It was like meant to be.
yeah, yeah. No, it's all
It
in
was
divine
just
order.
perfect. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just how things
It's
fall into
great,
place. And I'm so
Yeah,
and I'm so
definitely.
grateful that you were willing to participate today. You know,
Sure, sure.
yeah,
Any time. I'm so into making my life better and making other people's life better, and I'm so grateful for the people who have made my life better. You know,
yes,
and I want to thank you for sharing your friends. It's been great.
yeah,
It's awesome, and I just know it's going to improve. It's just going to get bigger.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. It is.
we're going to be
Well,
like a tribe.
it is a tribe. It's not like a tribe. It is a tribe.
Yeah,
By intent.
definitely.
Yeah.
It is a tribe. Yeah.
So I did just get
You know what I mean?
I just did get the my low battery signal. So I do want to say a few things before we bail.
Okay.
One is that I want to remind people that the Water of Life Symposium is something that you really, if you want to commune with a group of people that are really on the high vibration, it's really worth that. It's more about that than anything, although there's lots to learn, there's all that stuff, but it's just the opportunity to meet and greet with people that will become friends for life. I guarantee you, you'll meet people that you'll never want to lose sight of for the rest of your life. And so that's the Water of Life Symposium. And that's in September 21st, 2nd, and 3rd in Las Vegas at the Westgate. And you can go to the wateroflifesymposium.com to register. It's only $35. Now, in addition to that, if you want to meet and listen to Anthony A.K. King, who is the founder of that and created this, he's going to be on the radio tonight with Sandy Rogers on the Sandy Rogers Show. Now, if you go to their site, either Sandy Rogers or the Water Life Symposium Facebook page, or they have it posted, so you'll know exactly how to link up to Blog Talk Radio. You can do it on blogtalkradio.com, but they also put in a phone number so that you can call in and be a part of the conversation and all that. So I encourage people to consider this. And also next week, Teresa Allen's on, and then I'm going to have Harry Matadine on. And so we're keeping it lively here at the live show. It's happening. And I love you all so very dearly. I really appreciate y'all. And trust me, in the short to near future, you're going to see some really awesome shit coming out of Orin Town. It's going to just get more live. Yeah, shit's going to get more live. It's really going to be cool. So again, Cornelious, thank you so much for your loving time and your input. You're just a darling.
Thank you.
You know, I know everybody
Great
got a
talking
kick.
to you.
You know, this is a great,
Thank you, everyone.
show. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Take care.
And you know, thank all you guys for joining us. You know, always keep your peace together. You know, hug somebody, hug yourself, love everybody, because everybody's worth the love. And
Peace together.
yeah, keep your peace together. And boom, you just been loved. Okay, we're out. Ciao for now.
You too. Boom. Bye.
Bye-bye.